Welcome to Paris.
Hello TV lovers, I'm Matthew and this is The Worst, a show where we tell you why your favorite TV show characters are actually pretty terrible people. This week we are talking about our least favorite Parisian, Emily Cooper. Emily in Paris. For those of you who somehow missed the boat on this hit Netflix show, Emily in Paris, where have you been? Emily in Paris chronicles the life of a Chicago native named Emily, and she moves to Paris to start her new marketing job. In place of her boss, who gets pregnant, so she's taking on a much larger role. We watch as Emily falls in love with Paris, shocker, and multiple handsome men, one of them being the guy who lives below her, a chef. She also struggles with the new culture and language barrier, and she makes absolutely no effort to learn. Emily means well, but she tends to only look out for herself and her best interests, and therefore that makes Emily Cooper the worst. Since we are talking about Emily in Paris, it's only appropriate for me to be drinking champagne, aka the champagne that Emily's marketing firm works with, and I'm going to drink it today instead of spraying it because that is the dumbest marketing tactic I've ever heard of from, you guessed it, Emily Cooper. Now let me tell you why Emily is the worst. Emily doesn't try to assimilate to the Parisian culture at all. When she first learns that she got the promotion and she will be moving to Paris for her marketing job at Savoir, when she shows up to her first day of work, she didn't even bother to learn, hello, how are you in French? I don't know, sounds pretty basic to me. You should probably learn that.
Bonjour. Je vous attendais pas avant demain? Comment s'est passé le voyage, le nouvel appartement, tout ça?
You lost me a bonjour.
Oh.
She could have at least started Duolingo on her 9-hour flight to Paris. And when she finally does start to learn French and take French classes, she doesn't even bother to try and say it in a French way. She uses her dumb American accent to say everything. And she always sounds like a basic American tourist, which is what I sound like saying every French word in this video. There's this one time where Emily goes out to dinner with her new BFF Mindy, love her. They go out to dinner and she orders a steak. The steak comes out, it is not to her liking, and she hasn't even tried it yet. She opens it up, cuts it open, she realizes it's not what she ordered, so she tries to send it back. In French culture, they do not do that. Emily then starts lecturing her waiter, her French waiter, as to why the customer is always right, my least favorite American quality ever. She demands to see the chef. Well, the chef turns out to be the hot neighbor from downstairs that she met right when she gets to the city. And she's like, oh, taking it back. She's like all flushed, and then he's asked her to try the steak because she hadn't even tried it yet. She was just about what it looked like. She didn't try it yet. She tries it, shocker, she falls in love with it. People who say the customer is always right, really need to get a grip. It's like, the customer is always right, even though you're probably being a Karen. She can't even bother to learn the French language or assimilate herself with the culture. She just really wants to take what she likes from the Parisian culture and put it on her Instagram, which is totally not cool, and therefore that makes Emily the worst. She is a terrible friend to Camille, aka Camille. At the beginning of the show, Emily is flirting with her hot chef neighbor who is dating Camille. She doesn't know that at the time. His name is Gabriel, by the way. But she's flirting with him all the time, and she's always acting coy around him, giving me such pick-me girl energy. You know, those girls that are just always like, pick me, pick me. Emily tries to stay away from Gabriel after she finds out that he's dating Camille because she wants to be a good friend, even though she was still playing coy and being very flirty with him. Long story short, they end up sleeping together because Emily thinks that Gabriel is moving away to Burgundy to open up his own restaurant at the very end of season 1, and then he ends up staying. And so she's trying to lie to Camille about the fact that they had an affair together. That's a terrible friend. Even though she thought they were broken up, it's never cool to sleep with your friend's ex. Be a girl's girl, you know? And that's why Emily Cooper is the worst. She is mediocre at social media. For someone whose job it is to run social media marketing campaigns, Emily has no idea what she is doing. What is Emily's job? To give an American perspective to a French marketing firm? Who cares? Popularity and growth of her account, Emily in Paris, is unrealistic, and she's constantly posting things that she shouldn't. She posts a picture of children without asking the parents for permission. Wrong. She posts a picture and makes fun of women who are smoking outside of a gym. True, she did that. She takes this picture of these women smoking after a workout. They earned it. Okay, let them smoke a cigarette. They're minding their own business. She posts about a former Savoir client for free, which goes against her company's rules. Emily's carelessness when it comes to social media is so frustrating, and that makes her the worst. My overall opinion of Emily in Paris is I love the show. I think it's amazing. I think it's done really well. It's beautiful. I think the fashion is really captivating, even though some of it's kind of tacky. And I love Lily Collins. She's great. Amazing eyebrows, perfect skin, beautiful hair. She's amazing. She's talented. I'd say it's an 8 out of 10. I think it's a really great show. I love that it's on Netflix because I love to binge shows because waiting week to week is just archaic. Like, who wants to do that? I think it's a very beautiful aesthetic. Like I said, the fashion is a little bit like, but some of it's like really great. I hated that dress that she wore to the ballet because she wanted to be like Black Swan. I just really hated that. It was just like, oh God. It's like showing up to a Broadway show dressed as the lead as an adult. It's like, girl, please stop. I would recommend this show. I tried watching it with my mom though, and there's like a few sex scenes and I'm just like, I didn't like this. Like I still, at 27 years old, I don't like watching sex scenes with my mom. I believe in one of the first episodes, she caused a power outage in her building by playing with a vibrator. And I was like, gotta go, not watching this with my mom. But I would recommend this show. Not with your parents though, even though it's not even that bad. That just says more about me, to be honest. On a scale of hints of jerk to the absolute worst, according to Pierre Cadeau, Miss Emily Cooper is mein God. To recap, Emily is the worst because she doesn't even bother to learn the French culture. She is a terrible friend to Camille, and she's beyond mediocre at social media. Take it from someone who works in social media. Thank you for watching The Worst. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. And don't forget that Emily Cooper is the worst.